Welcome back to Sussex Voice. For years, the royal family lived under the glare of cameras. Every move was watched, every gesture analysed. Harry and Meghan became the latest stars in this endless show. News outlets competed to break the story first, sometimes before anything had happened. Tabloids made predictions, headlines shouted about royal rifts or secret trips, often built on little more than rumour. The public, hungry for royal news, became part of the machinery. Social media buzzed with theories and debates. Privacy was rarely an option. Anticipation itself was a spectacle. The Sussexes seemed to live in a goldfish bowl, unable to escape constant attention. Then something changed. Meghan Sussex decided to tell her own story, quietly and on her own terms. She posted a simple message to Instagram, titled Summer Holiday. There was no press release, no leaks, no build-up in the tabloids. Instead of letting the media shape the narrative, Meghan spoke directly to the world. The tone was gentle and warm. There were no grand announcements or dramatic statements, just a few words paired with private family photos. This move was different from anything before. It was intentional, subtle, and very personal. The message was clear. The family's memories belonged to them first. The simplicity of Meghan's post was its strength. With 2 words, summer holiday, she signalled a return to what mattered: family, joy, and privacy. The post unfolded like a photo album passed between friends. One image showed Archie, small and curious, looking wide-eyed from a plane's cockpit. Another captured Lilibet, all smiles and sunshine, splashing her feet by a quiet pool. There were shots of family dinners, laughter, shared food, and hands reaching across the table. The most touching moment was a visit to Althorp, Diana's childhood home. There the Sussexes stood together, heads bowed in memory. The photos did not feel staged or forced. Each picture spoke of genuine, everyday love. No paparazzi lenses intruded on these moments. The children played freely, safe from the flashbulbs. The mood was peaceful, full of small joys and private laughter. In sharing these images, Meghan invited the world to see her family not as royals, but as people. The snapshots were honest, unguarded, and deeply human. Perhaps what struck many observers most was what didn't happen. In the days leading up to the holiday, there were no swirling rumours in the press. No sources close to the couple whispered about travel plans or family tensions. No photographers camped outside airports or hotels. Instead, the family disappeared from view. They travelled in silence. They made memories in peace. The world only learned of their holiday after it was over, when Meghan chose to tell the story herself. This silence was a kind of power. For once, the narrative belonged to the people living it, not those watching from afar. The Sussexes proved that privacy is possible, even for those in the public eye, if you hold your story close. The absence of speculation was almost as loud as any headline. It showed that the old ways could be broken simply by refusing to play along. Section 5, Taking Back the Story, Who Controls the Narrative? By posting after the fact, Meghan and Harry changed the rules. They decided what to share, when, and how much. The power shifted from the press to those living the experience, a quiet revolution. Now the Sussexes wrote their own script. Their images weren't about spectacle, but about joy and togetherness. They reminded the world, first and always, they are a family. Among the images, one stood out: the family at Althorp, the resting place of Princess Diana. It was a deeply personal pilgrimage, one that spoke to Harry's roots and the memory of his mother. There were no grand gestures, just quiet reflection. For Harry, bringing his own children to Diana's grave must have been bittersweet. Here was a link across generations, a chance to introduce Archie and Lilibet to a grandmother they would never meet, but whose legacy would always surround them. Meghan, too, appeared moved by the moment. The photos showed her standing close, offering comfort and support. It was a scene of respect, love and remembrance. This visit was not for cameras or headlines. It was for family, a way to honour the past while building new memories in the present. What happened with this holiday was more than just a change in PR strategy. It was a statement about the difference between public spectacle and private memory. The Sussexes chose to keep their joys and sorrows close, sharing only what mattered most. In the past, every royal outing became an event, an opportunity for public reaction and press scrutiny. But this time, memories were made in silence. The family laughed, played and remembered without an audience. When Meghan finally did share, it was on her terms. The photos were not for show, but for meaning. The world was invited in, but only after the moment had passed. This was privacy in action, a deliberate choice to create genuine family history, not just headlines. For the first time in years, the media missed the story. Reporters had nothing to print, pundits had nothing to debate. The Sussexes' holiday came and went, invisible to the usual circus of coverage. When the story finally emerged, it was already over. The press could only react, not predict or control. This was a new kind of narrative, one shaped from the inside out. The lesson was clear. You do not have to play by the old rules. Privacy is possible, even in the age of instant news and social media. All it takes is the courage to hold your story until you are ready to share. In missing the moment, the media was forced to listen, not just watch. The Sussexes' summer holiday was more than a family trip. It was an example of how to own your story and your privacy in a world that is always watching. Meghan showed that you can choose what to keep private and what to share. Real privacy is not about hiding. It is about choosing. You decide which memories are yours alone and which you want to show the world. For the Sussexes, this meant holding their holiday close until it became a memory, not a headline. In the end, the greatest victory was quiet. No drama, no spectacle, just a family living, loving and remembering on their own terms. With two simple words, summer holiday, Meghan Markle changed the story. She reminded us all that sometimes the most powerful voice is the one that speaks softly and waits until the moment is right.